I'm Diego Cordovez.
Adam Schoenfeld.
The Scoop, brought to you by Full Tilt Poker. Today we have a special guest who's won over $5 million in poker tournaments, which is a lot.
That's a lot of money.
And has been winning for almost 20 years, which is kind of frightening to say because I've been playing against her for this time. Kathy Liebert, who is
Poker Cat, I call her.
Poker Cat, pokercat.com. She goes by these days. And she's won a World Series bracelet. She's been at innumerable World Poker Tour final tables and others. And she's an interesting person to boot. I respect people who've stood the test of time. Not that I don't respect these younger guys who have a lot of evident talent.
You call them punks a lot.
But to stick with it and to endure through all these eras, that is legit. Kathy and I, we started playing roughly the same time. And back then, if you became a poker pro, there were no sponsorships. There was no online play. It was an act of faith to become a poker pro.
Right, we used to play $100, $200, $300 tournaments. A $1,000 tournament was a big tournament back when we started.
This was the crazy thing too. Like you'd travel hundreds of miles or thousands of miles, and then you'd play in a tournament that had a $300 buy-in.
That's a very good point.
$10,000.
People know that things were different, and the main events. Right, it wasn't seven figures for the main events,
yeah.
But every known player would be in the $100 event on a Tuesday. Noon, $100 Omaha 8, and everyone would be there.
You'd play a $100 event, and you'd have Eric Seidel or Alan Cunningham or whoever.
Right.
In the
I
field.
used to play with those guys a lot in those small events. I mean, I was actually playing with Chris Ferguson in the first Omaha 8 better tournament that I won. It was a $100 tournament. First prize was like $4,000. Chris Ferguson came like 4th or 5th. And this was back, when he was first starting out.
And the other crazy thing is that now, if you're a good player, you can make a living. There are a lot of games, and you can play online, and there's thousands of games. Back then, you had to be a super player to overcome all this, because if you're playing in a $100 tournament, you're paying $69 for your hotel room. I mean, you've got to finish like in the top 3 in the tournament every other time just to make it all work, right? Or not?
Yeah.
Kathy, everyone knows that it was Dun and Bradstreet, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were working in a corporate career. Just from knowing you, I bet you that you were going to be successful. And then
an actual college graduate.
Right, smart person from Long Island. How did it occur to you? People didn't even know there was a poker tour. There was barely.
Right.
I mean, when I was all set for working in the corporate world when I graduated from college with a business degree. I was like, yes, I'm going to be a businesswoman. Went out to Wallach, spent $2,000 on business suits.
Right, you were a businesswoman.
Right, so I went to work for Dun & Bradstreet, and I worked for them for about a year. And my boss actually came up to me, and he said, keep working as hard as you work, and you'll get promoted, you'll do well here. And I realized, wow, I'm working so hard, working all these long hours. It was my whole life. And then I was like, wait a minute, so I really want to do this for years and years. I mean, he thought he was encouraging me, but I actually thought, wait a minute,
He's depressing me by the minute.
Right, so, and I'd come home after working hard and wouldn't have a lot of time to myself. My mom would be like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, well, I got to move it, get ahead and all this stuff. And she's like, do you love what you're doing? I'm like, no. And she was like,
that's a dangerous question.
Yeah, I mean, I was geared up to be in the corporate world. I really was. But she had just read this book, Do What You Love, The Money Will Follow. And I just started thinking about it. And actually, when I was working, I'd get job offers from people that I'd be talking to, because I've talked to a lot of business people. And I'd be like, maybe I can find something that I really will enjoy more, because it got to be very much the same thing every day. Right. And I realized this is not really how I want to spend the rest of my life. I mean, I thought this was like the end-all, be-all,
Right.
But
not the whole life, but maybe 30 or 40 years.
Right.
Right.
And I saw guys that were doing the same job for 40 years, and I was like, they don't look too happy.
But now people know that poker exists, and they can try it out. But did you even know that poker
that's what I want to know.
No, I didn't know. You know what? I went in there one day and I said, I think I'm going to leave and try something else. He goes, you got another job? I said, no. He goes, what are you going to do? He goes, you're kidding, right? You're not really leaving this job. Like, I'm just going to go off and do something. And I went out. Yeah, that's and for me that was shocking at the time, because I was on the mindset that you had to have a job and a career. And,
you were a good girl. You had, weren't a rebel.
Right. I mean, but I'd saved some money, and I was investing in the stock market and doing well doing that, and so I just went out to California. Just said, I'm going to California. And when I got there, I said, this is the biggest mistake of my life. Because I got there knowing nobody, not knowing what to do.
Right.
And I wound up thinking about going to law school there for a while. Took some courses at the University of San Diego, because I thought that'd be a good place to be. And then I said, let me go check out Colorado.
Right.
So I said, wow, this is a nice place.
For Colorado, not for poker.
Right. And so I called my friend. I said, I like Colorado. It's cheap to live here. It's nice. We got mountains. We got skiing. I said, I think I'm going to move here.
Right.
She's like, what, are you crazy? And I'm like, come on, just come out. So she came out. And when I started looking for jobs, then I realized that it wasn't so easy to get a good job.
A lot of times when you find out that a place is cheap to live,
right, there's a corollary.
yes,
Right.
it directly correlates
Right, I was
to
making
the...
like 35 at D&D in New York, and they're like, we have a job for 14,000. I think you're overqualified, or we're not going to like you. So then I discovered poker.
I was saying to New Yorkers like us, it's like, we're like, in Colorado, where are the Wall Street jobs?
Yeah, it really wasn't the same opportunities as New York.
So when you say you discovered poker, just give me a little bit of flavor of that.
Well, $5 limit poker has just opened up in Central City and Blackhawk. And actually, I got a job selling ATM machines because it was kind of like freedom, and I got to kind of do my own thing, and it was kind of commission. So I said, oh, this would be a great place to sell these ATMs. So I went up there, and for some reason, I hadn't had any trouble selling other businesses before, but for some reason, when I got up there, I just kind of was looking around and decided, there was a poker game, eight or better stud. And so that's kind of where I started playing.
And there they had real low limits. I mean, this is
$5
like
limit.
starting.
yeah, that was the law.
I think by the law, by law, they can't have very big.
Yeah. I remember a guy in the game, after I played a couple times, he kind of came over to me and said, maybe I should tell you a little bit more about this game. And there was a bookstore, a gambler's bookstore in Colorado.
Oh, yeah.
And I went there and I bought all these different books.
Right.
And I actually wound up taking a job as a prop after playing about 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And started playing in some home games in Denver. They had $10 home game, 10-20 limit hold'em, and then they had like a 4-8 dealer's choice, which is usually Omaha 8 or better, or Southern, or Pineapple.
Right.
So.
Southern, I've never even heard of it. You know that?
No.
Yeah, different variations of Omaha, like
Okay.
3-card Omaha. Some you had to use 2. Some,
So right then, did you know, wow, I really do love this, and I'm going to pursue this, or?
Well, I did like it. I really did like the idea of playing games, and I wasn't sure if I could make enough money to really, I was like, wow, if I could just make enough to live, I'll be happy. This is nice, the freedom,
Right, that'd be amazing.
and wearing sweats every day instead of wearing the business suits. I kind of liked it. So.
Did you know that there were people that were really making a living at this? Because I remember when I first started playing, this is early 1990s, I mean, I had no conception of the fact that this was like a way to make a living. I knew there were guys who played really big, like Doyle Brunson or Bobby Baldwin, or guys then who'd made a lot of money at it. But the idea that there was kind of like a tier of actual professionals who weren't making millions, but who were making
Right. Well, actually,
money.
there was a guy that was a propping at the place I worked, and he had been at it for years, and he was like, I knew he was considered to be like the real pro, and so I'd go talk to him, and he's like, if you really work hard at it, and you keep working at it, and you play a lot, you could make 20,000-30,000 a year. He was like, he's like really. So
you reach the absolute pinnacle of the profession.
So I was like, wow, well, okay, but I decided, and then after playing for a couple years in Denver, actually, somebody told me there was a tournament in Las Vegas. And I really didn't know if I could make a living at it. I was kind of enjoying playing, and actually, the games were good. I mean, for 4 and 8, even though everyone knew you need to have the nuts in Omaha to better, there'd be 6 callers to the river every hit.
Right.
I mean, so I was doing okay. And they told me about this tournament, and I said, oh, well, maybe I should go try that. I said, yeah, go out and try that. So I bought this book on tournament poker. Actually, it's called Tips from the Pros by Shane Smith, which is actually Dana Smith.
I read that too, yeah.
And I studied that for a week before going out for my first tournament. And I actually went over to the Treasure Island. And I was playing 6-12 over there, and I was doing really well, and the people were friendly, I was having fun, and I was like, I don't need to go play the tournaments, I'm having fun here. And one of the dealers says, no, you really should go try it, So I went over there and played a $100 tournament, and wound up chopping it for $14,000, my first tournament.
That's big.
Yeah, I mean, we got heads up, and somebody said, you want to chop it? And my friend that had encouraged me to go, that was kind of mentoring me a little bit, I was like, what's that? He's like, yeah, do it, say yes. So I was like, okay, what's that? Oh, we stopped playing now? What's going on?
Now, $5 million later, here we are. Because I was saying, Kathy's got $5 million in career.
Yeah, I just hit the $5 million mark just with my last cash.
That's a good mark.
That.
Yeah,
that's a big mark.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing that I think people don't fully appreciate is the whole style of play, especially in tournaments, has changed so much, and people have gotten better, but also they've changed just the way that they play. I mean, how much, if there's a way to quantify it, have you had to change the way you play, or is it just a matter of just adapting to play?
I mean, I wish I'd played on the internet earlier, because I didn't really realize how a lot of these young internet guys were playing. And I didn't realize how aggressive it had become and how often they were re-raising, or as they call it, 3-betting, with marginal hands and stuff like that. They got to change the lingo now, too, right? Everything's a 3-bet instead, right? I've learned the lingo a little bit.
I wouldn't even know the lingo, except Adam keeps me up to date.
So yeah, I mean, I wish I had kind of caught on a little bit earlier to the online thing and how they were playing, because I do think that I was probably playing a little bit more the conservative old style, a little bit, a little bit more solid. When they re-raised me, I was like, oh, well, I got 2 jacks or 2 queens, and I don't know, so I would actually fold these hands, and now you realize, now you realize that they're moving in with ace jack and ace queen, so you do have to adjust.
Or jack 7.
Right.
Are you spending a lot of your time now playing online, or what percentage would you say?
I'd say a fairly small percentage, because I still am traveling to a lot of the major tournaments. Although, I've been traveling, I've been playing these tournaments since 1994. So I'm actually thinking about cutting back on some of the travel.
I want to ask you about that, because I know that if I, and I barely go to tournaments anymore.
Right, I don't see you.
If I ever go to a tournament, I'm going to see Kathy Liebert there.
Right.
Do you get tired of that, the grind of the travel? Because that gets to me.
Yeah, I've cut back a little bit. I haven't really gone over to Europe or overseas too much, and I think I'm going to mostly do Vegas and California. I do like to travel back east, because I like the tournaments there, the Borgata and the Foxwoods. I've done well there, and like the people there. I kind of grew up in New York, so kind of feels a little bit like home when I get to see my mom and brother and everything when I go there. So.
But that to me, I mean, when I talked about standing the test of time, besides surviving just financially for a long time, which is a huge accomplishment, the travel, I mean, you've been, as Adam says, I mean, you've really been traveling. You've played a lot of the events, not just the main events, but I mean, a lot of events. That's something that, I mean, I play the World Series of Poker now.
Right.
That's, just driving down there. Takes a big effort.
Driving down from.
No, but I mean, flying and staying in the hotel rooms and the whole thing.
Well, years ago I used to play. Right, I used to play a lot more of the preliminary events than I do now.
Right.
Now I'm more likely to go in just for the main event. I do that a lot. I'm playing a lot of the. I didn't used to play all the $10,000 events.
Right.
The last few years I'm playing all the big ones, so I've cut back on the smaller ones. Yeah, but you're right. I mean, in the past I'd play all the preliminary ones, and now it's like, oh, $500 tournament, $1,000 tournament. I can skip those.
Right.
I don't need to.
Now only men win plays.
Right.
That's it.
So.
That's why
the fields are smaller. One person.
Yeah, I mean, it's just too much to just do that all the time.
That's where I think that people are going to realize, and they're going to burn out, where even now people are realizing, okay, I'll fly out for the main events. And even that, traveling to Europe and Asia and all over, people are going to realize it's tough to keep up. And the other thing is, there's so many more tournaments that takes so much more money to play them, that people are going to realize you can go through a long losing streak and play 20 main events and not cash in any of them.
Oh yeah, I mean, I used to not. You didn't used to need a huge bankroll, because, like you said, the tournaments were a lot smaller.
Right.
And now there's a $10,000 tournament every month or every couple weeks. You could probably play 2 or 3 a month if you really were ambitious about it.
And with 1,000 people in the field, you can go a ways without cashing. Whereas in the past, with a 100-person field, you're going to cash.
Yeah,
enough.
I mean, my percentage in cashing is pretty good. It's pretty high. But my percentage of wins lately has not been as much as I'd like. We've had a lot of thirds and seconds, and
that's still
those still pay. How do you deal with? I know that, like everyone, you've had decent spells of doing poorly, just inevitable. How do you deal with that just mentally? Does that get to you, or are you able to put that aside and just?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I've been pretty fortunate. The last 5 years, I've been pretty consistent of making pretty good money. I mean, not necessarily huge, but I've been a winning player for a long time now. So even though I go through little periods of not doing particularly well, I do cash a lot and kind of, so I've never really had a really bad streak for a real long time in terms of not cashing and making some money. I mean, obviously, I had the bad years in the beginning. When I first started out. I'd had a couple years. I remember actually my first year was a great year for me. I started playing tournaments at the Gold Coast, and I went on a streak where I was like cashing every tournament. I'd go to a tournament, I'd have 2 or 3 final tables.
This is the easiest thing in the world.
I mean, I didn't realize that. I mean, I knew that I wasn't necessarily the best player, or that but yeah, it was coming pretty easy. And then actually, I met Mansour Matloubi. And he said, and he was like, being really nice to me and says, let me stake you in this. And I was like, what are you talking about? That was definitely flattering, because I knew he was a world champion. Yeah. And then he started saying, I can't believe you win. You play so loose, you do this, you do that. And that's actually when I went on my down streak.
Right,
in
1995.
Right. I wasn't, instead of just going with my instinct, I started playing tighter and more conservatively. And then after
he
a year.
He hadn't cashed in like 5 or 6 years.
Well, I didn't realize. Yeah, I mean, I was kind of going with my instincts more the first couple of years, and then after I started tightening up and learning how to play, my results went down, and then I said, well, maybe I should, change up a little again.
That happens to everyone, I think. I mean, not to that extreme, where you have the influence of a backer or someone who you respect and who might influence your play, but when you first start playing, you don't know what you're doing. A lot of times, obviously in the tournament structure, that's really good. And then you get smarter, you're like, this can't be a good play, but now you're becoming too predictable. You're not making the plays that really give you the big scores. And
well, in the early part, I thought that I was betting because I had a good hand. I didn't realize that I was bluffing. I didn't realize that I was laying down bet hands that I was betting. I was like, well, I had a pair. You know?
The other players are reading you for. She feels very confident. She's strong.
Right, she
must have
looks
a big
very
hand.
strong. She's got it.
Yeah.
So we've had a great time here with Kathy Liebert.
I say we talk more to her.
We're going to follow up part 2. We're going to bring her back. She's going to be out of town, but we'll fly her back on the Scoop corporate jet. And join us next week for more Kathy Liebert.
2 bracelets. Awesome.
Well, you know, these aren't easy to win. I remember this one like it was yesterday. My opponent had me down to my left. Sorry. Anyway, it's down to my last few chips. So I had to call.
We play at fulltailpoker.com.